Stephen Smith. I'm with Christian Leadership Partners. And for the last 3 weeks, we've been doing a free coaching session for you. These 10 minutes every single day will actually help you to become your best you, or at least that's what our hope is. If you're able to take these tools and you're able to use them in a wise way and in a way that you think that will actually help you and your team better, we really do encourage you to do that. And in fact, if you want to share this on Facebook or YouTube or retweet them or use them to help make your subordinates better, I really do encourage you to do that. The other thing that we're doing is we're actually going through step by step through Proverbs and taking Solomon's wisdom and trying to apply it to our lives in the realm of coaching at least. And don't forget, tomorrow at Friendship Church, we're going to do a live coaching session. You're more than welcome to join us. What we're really going to do is we're going to go through this last week. We're going to see where we're at in relationship to our goals and how our plan is actually fitting into that. And in fact, for the last 4 days, we've been talking about planning. What I want you to do is I want you to see that planning isn't the only thing that we're going to do here. We're actually going to hit all 4 stations of this. Now, we've taken a lot to start working towards developing a plan, a goal, something that we want to accomplish. And what you've been doing is if you've been using the goal worksheet, which is in the comments down below, you've actually been writing down your goals, and hopefully they've been evolving. They've gone from, gee, I don't know what I want to do, to this is exactly what I want to do. And in fact, we're going to call that our moonshot. Our moonshot is this one shot that we're going to take to accomplish what it is that God wants us to do. Now, those can be goals, those can be plans, those can be desires. They can be what you have in your heart. We want to help you to do that through 4 different phases. And we'll talk a lot about that throughout the remainder of these coaching sessions. That's our planning phase, our preparation phase, our executing phase, and our assessing phase. So hopefully over these next 10 days, we'll actually be able to see how Proverbs can actually help us do this, and also the tools that we provide you for that as well. You know, the value of Proverbs really helps us to see this. And in Proverbs 21:5 in the Passion Translation, it says this: brilliant ideas pay off and bring you prosperity, but making hasty and patient decisions will only lead to financial loss. So what we want to do is we want to start using Proverbs in a way that's actually going to make a huge difference in our lives. And if we can do that, then we're able to see where it is that Proverbs can actually start changing the way that we look at our lives and the way that we actually start implementing our leadership and our gifts and our talents and everything else. So let's take a look at Proverbs chapter 21 quickly. This is a brief summary of what we believe that Proverbs will actually provide for us. Proverbs 21 is actually going to help us to understand the condition of a leader's heart. They're also going to help us to understand the value of a good plan. We're going to also see the results of evil plans. It also talks about a quarrelsome wife, but I do remind you that the husband is usually characterized as the fool in Proverbs 21, so don't overlook that as well. Also, we'll be taking a look at good versus evil, wise actions versus foolish ones, the value of hard work, and the victory always belongs to the Lord. So if we can remember these different things, then Proverbs 21 is actually going to provide us with the information that we need to be able to start being more successful. So let's go ahead and get started with Proverbs chapter 21. The king's heart is like a stream of water directed by the Lord. He guides it wherever he pleases. People may be right in their own eyes, but the Lord examines their heart. The Lord is more pleased when we do it as right and just than when we offer him sacrifices. Haughty eyes, a proud heart, and evil actions are all sin. Good planning and hard work lead to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty. Wealth created by a lying tongue is a vanishing mist and a deadly trap. The violence of the wicked sweeps them away because they refuse to do what is just. The guilty walk a crooked path. The innocent travel a straight road. It's better to live alone in the corner of an attic than with a quarrelsome wife in a lovely home. Evil people desire evil. Their neighbors get no mercy from them. If you punish a mocker, the simple-minded become wise. If you instruct the wise, they will be all the wiser. The righteous one knows what is going on in the homes of the wicked. He will bring disaster upon them. Those who shut their ears to the cries of the poor will be ignored in their own time of need. A secret gift calms anger. A bribe under the table pacifies fury. Justice is a joy to the godly, but it terrifies evildoers. The people who stray from common sense will end up in the company of the dead. Those who love pleasure become poor. Those who love wine and luxury will never be rich. The wicked are punished in place of the godly, and traitors in place of the honest. It's better to live alone in the desert than with a quarrelsome, complaining wife. The wise have wealth and luxury, but fools spend whatever they get. Whoever pursues righteousness and unfailing love will find life, righteousness, and honor. The wise conquer the city of the strong and level the fortress in which they trust. Watch your tongue and keep your mouth shut, and you will stay out of trouble. Mockers are proud and haughty, they act with boundless arrogance. Despite their desires, the lazy come to ruin, for their hands refuse to work. Some people are always greedy for more, but the godly love to give. The sacrifice of an evil person is detestable, especially when it's offered with wrong motives. A false witness will be cut off, but a credible witness will be allowed to speak. The wicked bluff their way through, but the victorious think before they act. No human wisdom or understanding or plan can stand against the Lord. The horse is prepared for the day of battle, but the victory belongs to the Lord. So we can see a couple of different verses here in Proverbs that actually help us to understand the value of going through and understanding the planning, preparation, the execution, and the assessment phases that we're going to be talking about. Proverbs 21:5 tells us good planning and hard work lead to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty. Proverbs 21:30, it tells us no human wisdom or understanding or plan can stand against the Lord. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a lot about our moonshot. What is it that you want to accomplish with your goals? If you had one shot to make it, what would you do? You wouldn't jump at it hastily. You'd sit down and you'd go through the entire phases of a strategic plan, which includes, again, planning, preparation, execution, and assessing where you're at. So we're going to talk about each of those as we go through each of these processes. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that we address these different stages of the plan. And we'll talk a lot more about this tomorrow at Friendship Church. If you can make the time, please join us. So the first part of our moonshot is that we're going to come up with a strategic plan. I'm going to make sure that my plan is in alignment with my goals. I'm going to make sure that I'm looking forward, not to the back. I want to make sure that I'm solution focused and that I've got all the different things that I need, whether it's the skills and the attributes that I have, or if it's the resources that I need, whether I've got them or I need to go out and get them. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we can do each of those different processes. The next step that we want to do is we want to make sure that we have a comprehensive assessment. We want to take a look very closely at what we're doing. We want to make sure that we're pointed in the right direction. We want to make sure that our ladder is leaned up against the right building, or in other words, we're going after the right goals. We also want to make sure that we have an aggressive execution so that we're actually going out and saying, no, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to accomplish it. And if I can make sure that I'm doing those things, then I know that my plan is going to go out, is going to do absolutely what I know that I can do. We as Christians have the tendency to sit back and say, well, I'm waiting on the Lord to make sure that everything's right. I don't want to make any mistakes. I don't want to be outside of God's will. And yet the evil people are out there just executing their plans going forward, and they're the ones that are actually making a difference in this world, whereas we are the ones who are supposed to be making a difference. So why not be more aggressive with the execution of your plan? We'll talk more about that next week. And then finally, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have a thoughtful analysis of what we've done. And we'll finish up this entire coaching session with that. We'll go through and we'll actually make an assessment of our goals, of our plan, how it went, and what steps we still need to address as we go along. So make sure that you stay here for all 31 of these special tools that we're providing for you. Now, don't forget to subscribe over here so you don't miss any one of these videos. You're also more than welcome to make sure that you share these with others, that you use the heck out of these. If you need to go back and take a look at them, don't feel bad about that. I really want you to use these tools to become your best you. And once you're able to do that, you're going to be a miracle going someplace to happen.